palms over your eyes. Absorb the energy for a few seconds. You may choose to open your eyes whenever you're ready. Alternately, you may also sit with eyes closed while I share this beautiful article on the Ramakrishna Kalpataru. So, welcome back, Masters. That was a mesmerizing flute music by Praveen Godkindi. In my humble opinion, I think flute is the most conducive instrument for meditation. It is soft, it is gentle, and very soothing, not very distracting or disturbing to the mind. Hope you all enjoyed the music as much as I did, and welcome back. So, this article is on January 1st, the Kalpataru Day. The first day of January, besides being the New Year Day, is of special significance to a Ramakrishna devotee. This is the day of the self revelation of Sri Ramakrishna when he became what is now popularly called the Kalpataru, the wish fulfilling tree. It happened on January 1st, 1886, at Kashipur, where Sri Ramakrishna was undergoing treatment for his throat cancer. He felt somewhat better that day and came down from his room for a stroll on the spacious lawns of the garden house. About 30 devotees were present and were scattered here and there in the garden. As soon as they saw the master, they all came near him and bowed down. The master said to Girish, "What have you seen that makes you glorify me publicly before one and all?" Girish at once fell at the master's feet and said, with folded hands and choked voice, "What more can I say about him? Even a fraction of whose glory Vyasa and Valmiki miserably failed to express in their immortal epics and Puranas." Hearing these words of Girish, the master was deeply charmed and his mind soared to a high plane. Seeing the divinely illuminated face of the master, Girish was thrilled and he cried out in great joy, "Glory to Ramakrishna! Glory to Ramakrishna!" and began taking the dust off his feet again and again. The master looked at all present and said smilingly, "What more shall I say to you? May you all be spiritually awakened." No sooner had he said these few words than he went into samadhi. What followed is best described in the words of Swami Sardananda, who had seen the whole episode from a distance. When the devotees heard those words of blessings and protection from fear, they raised repeated cries of joy, exclaiming, "Glory to Ramakrishna." Some of them saluted him, some showered flowers, some again came and touched his feet. The master touched the devotees in that state of samadhi and blessed them all. The effect was instantaneous. Swami Sardananda's account continues. There arose by that marvelous touch a wonderful mood in the mind of each. Some of them began to laugh, some to weep, some to meditate, and some again to call aloud all others in order that they might also be blessed by receiving the grace of the Master and be sharers in the bliss that was overflowing. On later inquiry, it was known that the devotees blessed by the Master on that day had wonderful spiritual experiences and visions. Some felt bliss and a sort of divine intoxication. Some experienced the creeping blissful sensation of the rising Kundalini. Some saw ecstatic visions of their chosen deities, and some saw divine light. All the experiences were unique, each in its own way, Although they differed in their content, the feeling of being filled with an extraordinary divine bliss was common to all. As the Master had granted unstinted grace to one and all, some felt that he had revealed himself as the Kalpataru on that day. The 1st of January thus came to be known as the Kalpataru Day. The Kashipur residence, which now houses a center of the Ramakrishna order, became naturally the focus of attention. Sri Ramakrishna had stayed in the house for more than 8 months, and to crown it all, had showered the special grace on the devotees on the 1st of January. Even today, devotees of Sri Ramakrishna from all over the world pour into holy precincts of the Kashipur house to feel the living presence of the Master and to share in the spiritual legacy left behind him. The climax is reached every year on the Kalpataru Day when thousands rush to recapture the Kalpataru grace granted by the Master in 1886. At this stage, it is imperative that we inquire into some fundamental questions. What exactly do we mean when we say that Sri Ramakrishna became the Kalpataru on that occasion? Is it possible for us to derive any spiritual benefit from this incident, separated from us by a distance of so many years? In other words, does the Kalpataru Ramakrishna continue to shower his grace even today? And is this divine privilege extended to the devotees only on the 1st of January? The Kalpataru or Kalpavriksha is pictured in the Indian mythology as a wish fulfilling tree. Standing under it, whatever we wish comes true. Whatever we desire, we get. Indeed, one of the popular tale tells of a man resting under this tree eventually turned out to be a Kalpataru. He thinks, ah, if I had a beautiful bed to lie on, he muttered to himself as he turned on his side. And what was his amazement when he discovered a fine bed waiting for him. He then thought of an attendant, and in no time, an attendant stood before him. Whatever the man wished appeared before him instantaneously. And now, if a tiger were to come, he mused, a tiger promptly showed up and lost no time in eating him. Now, is Sri Ramakrishna a Kalpataru of the traditional type, giving everyone whatever they desire? It doesn't seem to be so. The Kalpataru event at Kashipur clearly bears this out. Not all the people who received his grace that day could be said to have had no worldly desires of any kind. Yet, it was not the fulfillment of these worldly cravings that this Kalpataru brought about. What Sri Ramakrishna did was something quite different. On that day, he cast off the thin human veil that covered his divine identity and filled the devotees with the strength of grace. Swami Sardananda therefore finds it more reasonable to call the event the self revelation of the Master. If we must use the word Kalpataru with regard to Sri Ramakrishna, it would be more appropriate to say that he manifested himself as a special Kalpataru that day. There are at least 2 points in which the special Kalpataru differs from its conventional counterpart. First of all, it does not grant us everything that we seek. It gives us only that which would ultimately lead us toward peace and fulfillment. Thus, the devotees and disciples of Sri Ramakrishna did not have all their desires fulfilled that day. The desires which would hinder their Godward march were not granted by him. It was, in fact, the extermination of those desires that this Kalpataru specialized in. I'll read this line one more time. The desires which would hinder their Godward march were not granted by him. It was, in fact, the extermination of those desires that this Kalpataru specialized in. Secondly, the conventional Kalpataru required a person to come under it and wish for something. The Ramakrishna Kalpataru did not and does not always wait for the person to come to him, nor was and is it necessary always to explicitly express one's desires in his presence. Ramakrishna could see through people as through a glass case and knew without being told what they were in need of. If you take one step towards God, He takes 10 steps toward you, he taught. In fact, his moving out to Calcutta toward the end of his life had this primary motive. It was more for the spiritual treatment of his growing number of devotees than for his own physical one. The Kalpataru episode at Kashipur is not an isolated event in the master's life. He had blessed in the same way his inner circle of intimate devotees several times at Dakshineshwar. The speciality of the Kalpataru episode lay in the fact that the master chose to shower his grace for the first time on a wider circle of people. Never before had he lifted the human veil, covering his divinity in so obvious a fashion before one and all. Now, where does this leave us? How and when can this Kalpataru grace descend in our own lives? We are told that divine grace is unconditional. Nevertheless, in our heart of hearts, we do feel that without some sort of readiness to receive the grace, we make ourselves unfit for it. At least, that is what the experience of Vaikunthanath Sanyal shows. He was among those fortunate who received the Kalpataru grace in 1886. When he approached the master and begged for his grace, the master said that he had already given him what he had wanted. But please make me understand that I have received it, he pleaded. And on being touched by the master, a great revolution took place in his mind. Wherever Vaikunthanath looked, he beheld the figure of the master lit up with a gracious smile. The experience continued unabated for some days. He found it impossible to carry on his work in the office and to attend to other duties. He even began to doubt his sanity and prayed to the master, "O Lord, I am not able to contain this mental state. Please bring this to an end." His prayer was answered. The vision and the mental state subsided gradually. This shows that the receptacle should be strong enough to hold the divine grace. Unless the mind becomes sufficiently pure and is purged of desires, it is not possible to receive the grace. And if received, as in the case of Vaikunthanath, it is not possible to retain it. Even Sri Krishna had to withdraw his divine cosmic form, Vishwarupa, from the frightened Arjuna, and Ramakrishna had to restrain himself from giving the highest realization to Narendranath on the latter's first visit to him. Thus, preparing oneself to receive the grace is the first and foremost duty of spiritual seekers. To the extent they are able to do it, they come nearer to the special Kalpataru. Perhaps it might be more accurate to say that the Kalpataru moves nearer to them. One cannot help imagining some sort of a connection between the New Year's Day and the day of self revelation of the Master. The New Year's Day is a day of joy, hope, and eager expectation. Everyone hopes to have a happy and prosperous and peaceful year ahead. In many countries, an effigy of the old man is made with the past year inscribed on it. At midnight, amidst jubilant shouts, song, and dance, the old man is burnt. Ring out the old, ring in the new, they say, as the new year is ushered in. But just a year later, this new year loses its newness and we are ready for yet another new year. Can we not have a new year that would remain new always? Yes, we can, but not in the physical sense. A new year that is not bound by time is conceivable only in dimensions that transcend time. From the spiritual standpoint, the new year signifying a new life, a new spiritual birth, becomes all the more meaningful because it is not a temporary phenomenon. All our spiritual endeavors initially are meant to hasten the coming of this new year. But in order to participate in the New Year celebration, the old man of the worldly desires has to be set on fire by true discernment, viveka, dispassion, vairagya, prayer, prarthana, and devotion to God, bhakti. When the mind becomes sufficiently pure, the new year sets in. The Ramakrishna Kalpataru then approaches us and fills our heart with divine grace. Equipped with the strengthening grace, we are able to combat the subtle obstacles that block the path to higher levels of spiritual life. We then find no difficulty in cleansing our minds of the subtle desires and impulses that are still present in our otherwise pure mind. Thus blessed, our every succeeding moment becomes converted into a new year day, lifting us higher and higher towards perfection and fulfillment. And that is the significance of Kalpataru celebration on the 1st of January. It is a reminder to every devotee of the unforgettable event at Kashipur and of the redeeming power of the Lord. It is also a gentle hint to a serious spiritual speaker to look beyond the physical aspects of the episode and to concentrate on its spiritual implication. It is in this sense that the bestowal of Kalpataru grace is not limited to the few devotees that had gathered there on that day. It is as valid and true today as it was then. And it is to recapture that mood of participation in the inspiring event at Kashipur that the 1st of January holds a special meaning to a Ramakrishna devotee. Here ends the article, friends. It was a very lengthy one, but I did not want to cut lines in between because I thought every sentence had a very, very beautiful message to be shared with you all. Thank you so much for sitting along patiently and listening to this wisdom sharing, which is more than our normal time. Sorry for exceeding the time limit, but I hope you enjoyed this article and the music just like I did. And thank you for adding your energies to this wonderful group meditation. As always, group energy is very powerful, and we give something and we take back something. Wishing you all a wonderful, peaceful, and a prosperous new year in all your endeavors. May the grace of Ramakrishna be with you all the time, whatever endeavors you're embarking on. Thank you, friends. If anybody would like to add anything more, please go ahead and raise your hand or simply unmute yourself. Mamta ji, please go ahead.
Namaste, Ranjani ji.
Namaste, namaste.
Hey, masters. It's the wisdom of Kalpataru Day is a really a profound message today. And obviously we celebrate in India. And I was I used to go to Ramakrishna Ashram regularly in those days. And I felt the master's vibrations, and I have learned so much from the master. And really, Kalpataru Day is a blessing day for each and everyone. What all you explained, I was hearing just closing my eyes. It was really, I was experiencing the each and every word. And I had visited Calcutta and had stayed there and in Belur Mutt. Really, it is a beautiful experience. And every divine and spiritual experiences are so powerful that it can't be explained in words. I feel like that. Yes, it becomes so powerful. See, when I heard some story that in so many long years back, the people who live in the forest, those people, there was no instrument like to cut the trees or like that. So at that time, they had to believe that uh, by telling negative words, they used to go in a huge lump sum people, and they used to go and they used to stand near the trees, and they used to tell the negative words, all the negative words continuously, all the people together. And they used to do again and again daily. They used to go, and at the same time they used to do that thing. See, and for few days the forest used to fall down. They used to do that thing. I had heard something like this. They used to do that thing. See, that means what are the heap of vibrations, maybe anything. The heap goes on, and it will become so powerful. The Kalpataru day has become so powerful because the same day, all the energies, it will be in a heap. It goes on. It grows like day by day, it grows. So after so many years also, it will be so powerful. It won't lose its power. It will be becoming more powerful. That's my experience, and that's my understanding. So that is the uh, thing. It happens. It goes on like that. And I want to share my few words I have written in my book today, because some affirmations I have written my book. Just I go on reading. Shall I go on, Ranjaniji?
Yes, please, please go ahead, please.
Okay. I attract positivity and success effortlessly. My gratitude sets the foundation for a blessed new year. I welcome 2025 with hope, joy, and an open heart. I trust the universe to guide me towards my highest good. My 2025 is filled with peace, happiness, and prosperity. I am open to the infinite blessings of this incredible year. Each day of 2025 brings me closer to my heart's desires. I celebrate the abundance following into my life today. I attract love, peace, and success into my 2025 journey. My gratitude grows as blessings multiply around me. I am thankful for the miracles unfolding in my life now. This year, I align with my purpose and manifest my dreams. I attract only the highest good into my life this year. I welcome countless blessings into my life this year. My heart is open to receive all the good 2025 offers me. Each day of 2025 brings abundance, peace, and endless miracles. I attract abundance effortlessly in every area of my life. Gratitude fills my heart as blessings flow my way daily. My 2025 journey is blessed with growth and opportunities. I embrace the miracles the universe has prepared for me. My actions this year reflects my values and deepest intentions. I have clarity and courage that firms on what makes me happy. Sorry. I have clarity and courage that focus on what makes me happy. I release anything that does not align my goals and well being. This year, I embrace the simplicity and beauty of my true soul. My focus is clear and I commit to a meaningful life. Every step I take in 2025 leads to prosperity and peace. These are 25 affirmations I have written for the new year, and I get so happy and energetic, and it was feeling so divine for me. So I wanted to share with you all. Thank you, universe. Thank you so much. Thank you, masters.
Beautiful, beautiful, Mumtaji. As always, you have a very nice way of expressing your thoughts, feelings into a poem form, and you're willing to share it with us. And starting of the new year, so it is lot of goal setting and resolutions for ourselves. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, Ram, please go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Ranjani ji. Very beautiful group meditation and the story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. This is the first time I'm listening this story, and beautiful affirmations by Mamata ji. Thanks a lot for sharing such affirmations. And a thought that came to me as you were reading about this Kalpataru, the story of Kalpataru Day, is we always need to imagine we have now the opportunity to connect to this Kalpataru as we listen to the story. What would be the wish? This is where my thoughts came. It always said that we should always have the highest of the highest wishes. The highest of the highest wishes is becoming a master, realizing our godhood, enlightenment. So we have to be conscious about always what we desire and always desiring to experience our own self, the highest potential of our own self. So thanks a lot. Felt like sharing my thoughts. Thank you.
So true. Uh, According to Patriji or all the other enlightened masters of our times, there is God in each and every one of us. I think the purpose of this human birth is to realize that ourselves. That self realization is what we need to work on. Everybody is given the same thing, maybe not the same opportunities at the same time, but we are all blessed with the same things. It is our goal, and we should make it our purpose to realize who we truly are. I think what you said is spot on. Thank you so much, Ram. So, with this nice messages, shall we end the session here? Or is there any more sharing, friends? If anybody would like to say something, please go ahead. Else, we can conclude here with the New Year wishes one last time. Happy New Year, friends. Stay happy, healthy, and peaceful. Take care.